Then upcoming games with insane graphics that you won't even believe, all photorealistic games, so check it out right now. Games for Xbox Series X, Series S, PlayStation and PC. Like the video and leave your comment here with your opinion, and also subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thank you so much and let's go. Phantom Blade Zero is a fast-paced RPG game, and all the videos and gameplays of the game looks absolutely mind-blowing, and the game is being developed by the studio S Game. In the game you see some inspirations in other games, but with its own style and traits. I would even say it is one of the most beautiful games coming out. And no, this is not a Souls-like game despite it looks like, it's more like an action RPG adventure. The last time the developers talked about the development of the game itself, they mentioned that the game will still take a long time to be finally released. What is sad for us, that looks very good, so I believe this game is only coming out in 2026 or even beyond for PlayStation 5 and PC. Doom the Dark Age is a Doom Slayer adventure in the Middle Age, still with the brutal and frenetic gameplay. And of course, the game is still being developed by the ID Software, one more time the studio that created the series. The gameplay of Doom is something so smooth and good that's even hard to explain, with a huge skill gap by the way, so you better get good at the game. The story is usually good too, but the gameplay is the best thing. In this game, we are going to explore the medieval era with a lot of new stuff, but to play we need to wait until some moment of 2025, and the game is coming out to Xbox Series X, Series S, PlayStation 5 and PC, and day one on Xbox Game Pass. Project the Perceiver is a Chinese fast-paced action RPG game set in an open world and with a Souls-like gameplay, and the game is being developed by the studio Paper Games. The visual beauty of this game is something unbelievable. The graphics and also everything that happens in the screen while you fight, while you just move, like the motions of the characters and also the enemies and of course the boss fights too. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be very pleasant to explore the vast open world of this game. The game looks breathtaking, but we still need to wait a little bit longer as there are no release date yet, but it may come out in 2025 or 2026. And will be released on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 and PC, but PlayStation 4 version could be cancelled. Chrono Odyssey is a huge and ambitious open-world MMORPG. The trailers of the game looks totally unbelievable. The game is being developed by the Chrono Studio. The game will be set in a fantasy huge open world, with a great exploration and combat systems, and amazing graphics in Unreal Engine 5. And they say that the game will have a sort of time mechanic that will change some things in the game. That sounds really interesting by the way. Even changing the settings, the scenarios and all, sounds really cool. The game still have no release date, maybe 2025 or 2026, we don't know yet. But it's coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Series S and PC. Death Stranding 2 is the sequel of the first Death Stranding, of course, a very original game by the way. The game again is being developed by Kojima Studio, so get ready for an unforgettable experience once again.
What about shotgun? I prefer the driver's seat.
The gameplay won't be so different from the first game, but we'll see some new features too, of course. The player once again will control Sam Potter Bridges, delivering, surviving and unraveling the new mysteries of the world. All that set in a huge open map with a lot of possibilities.
That's right. These days I'm fragile in name only.
If you played the first game, I'm sure you're going to like the sequel too. So keep an eye out, cause it's coming out in some moment of 2025, with still no release date yet, but in 2025. And it's coming out only on PlayStation 5.
Bridges no longer oversees the distribution network.
Lucia, do you know why you're here?
Bad luck, I guess.
GTA 6 is real, guys, yeah, and we can finally say that, but for now we just can't play yet, but we'll be able to play it soon. And it's being developed by Rockstar Games, and will probably break the internet when it comes out. The game will be set in Vice City, the same Vice City of Vice City game and Vice City Stories, but now in the modern age and with a whole new area. I'd even say that 70% of the map will be the surroundings of Vice City, something we've never seen before. And of course, a whole new plot, 2 new protagonists, Jason and Lucia, and I'm sure that's going to be awesome. I know you're probably hyped for this game, but you need to wait until some moment of 2025 to play it, on Xbox Series X, Series S or PS5. The PC version will probably come out a little bit later, maybe 1 year, maybe a little bit less or more, we don't know. Mafia The Old Country is the new episode of the series, a very acclaimed series by the way. The game is being developed by the studio Hangar 13, the same studio responsible for Mafia 3 that is not so acclaimed and Mafia 1 remake that everyone loves. The game will be set in the start of the 20th century, but beyond that we don't know much about the game itself. But what I know is if they do a great job just like they did in the Mafia 1 remake, this is going to be a very good game. And there will be new informations and a new trailer of the game in the end of 2024, so keep an eye out, maybe even with a release date, but the game is coming out in some moment of 2025 for Xbox Series X, Series S, PlayStation 5 and also PC.
We are beyond the edge of time.
Ghost of Yōtei is the sequel of the acclaimed game Ghost of Tsushima, and now we are going to play an adventure over 300 years later. The game is being developed by Sucker Punch Productions. In the game we will explore the islands around Yōtei, and we will even be able to explore different locations like frozen areas or areas with vegetations and all. I'm really curious to see all the areas of the game, and all that set in the year 1603, with amazing graphics and a vast open world. The game looks really good, but to play it we need to wait until some moment of 2025, and it's coming out only on PlayStation 5 for now.
Скіфе, радий тебе бачити, друже.
Stalker 2 is a new action survival FPS game with details that is even hard to believe. The game is being developed by the studio GSC Game World, and I'd even say that if this game is as good as it looks, it's going to be really awesome. The game will be set in Chernobyl, a post-apocalyptic version of it, and we need to explore the area searching for resources and better gears, equipment, and of course meeting other survivors, but not all of them will be friendly, so you better be careful. And of course some mysterious creatures too. This is coming out still in this month. Thankfully, it's coming out in November 20th, 2024, Xbox Series X, Series S and PC, and day 1 on Xbox Game Pass. ArcheAge Chronicles is one of the most beautiful RPG games announced and will probably be one of the best games of its year, and it's being developed by XL Games. Explore Aurora, a vast and vibrant world brimming with rich lore and thrilling action. The gameplay looks really good, involving all types of gameplays, with a lot of different weapons, enemies, environments, settings, magics and all. And I am pretty sure you got impressed with this, right? Guys, I really got impressed in the first time I've seen it. And it will be coming out to Xbox Series X, Series S, PlayStation 5, PC, but there is still no release date. Crimson Desert is a new big AAA open-world RPG game, and the game is being developed by the studio Pearl Abyss, the same creators of the MMO Black Desert. That's a success. This game will be set in a huge map, filled with a lot of different mechanics like parkour system, farming, gliding in the air, climbing like in Assassin's Creed, fighting with swords, and much more. And I must say, the first time I saw it, I got absolutely impressed. It's so hard to believe that it's going to be as good as it looks, but let's hope it keep up with the expectation. The game is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Series S, and PC in 2025 or 2026.
So, you want to know all about heroes, do you? Well, you have come to the right place.
Fable is the returning of the most famous RPG series from Xbox games. This new one is going to be a sort of reboot, and it's being developed by Playground Games. The game is going to be set in a fantasy world filled with creatures from fairy tales with a third-person camera, and is that kind of game that your choices will change the events and the key events of the game, the missions and all, and also the whole plot of the game too, like the classic games of the series.
But it's more than that. It's about the choices you make.
If you played the original Fable games, I think you're hyped for this new one. Don't know that this is coming out in 2025 in some moment. Xbox Series X, Series S and PC, directly to Xbox Game Pass.
Welcome to the most exclusive club in all of Albion. Thought I'd get her out there, make the most of her gift.
Pragmata is a very interesting and curious game developed by Capcom, and everything I've seen so far looks really good, with insane graphics and interesting mystery. The game is going to be set in a dystopic future. The gameplay is going to be set in a third-person camera, but so far what this is really going to be about is still a mystery, and that's something that got my attention, by the way. I'm really happy about this game, especially because I think this is going to be something very unique and original, what I respect, but unfortunately the game was postponed sometimes, and we still don't know when it's going to be released. Let's hope 2025, and it will be released on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Series S and PC. Marvel Wolverine is the new game developed by Insomniac Games, the studio responsible for the last Spider-Man game, and they are very good, by the way. In the game, we'll obviously control Logan, the Wolverine, and it's going to be set in the same universe of Spider-Man, but in the game we'll not have the same freedom to explore and do whatever you want like in the Spider-Man game. It seems it's going to be a little bit more linear, with some specific open areas through the game. The first trailer looks very good, but I want to see if the game is going to be as brutal as it needs to be, because it's a Wolverine game, by the way, right? So I want it to be brutal, and the game's probably coming out in 2025, only on PlayStation 5.
Remember how I felt? Father told us to hide.
Hell Is Us is a third-person action game with some RPG mechanics, all set in a semi-open world, and the game is being developed by the studio Rogue Factor.
Everyone had fled. She said the country was...
The game is set in a mysterious and curious place, and you need to advance searching for answers about the things of the game, and I'm sure this game is going to have a good story, by the way, and all that with a fast and dynamic combat, fighting against ghastly and hideous creatures. That looks very fun, I assume, but to see if it's as good as it looks like, we need to wait until some moment of 2025, and the game will be released on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Series S and PC.
I've always wanted to fly. The joy of it, the freedom.
Directive 8020 is going to be a horror game focused on the story, and will be developed by Supermassive Games, same studio of The Quarry, Man of Medan, and more. So yeah, this is going to be another game in this style. The game is going to be set in the space. Yeah, we have seen some things like that before, but this game looks very beautiful. So in this spaceship, you need to survive and discover what is really happening there. Earth is dying and humanity is running out of time. This is the brief of the game. So I imagine this is going to be very immersive, but to see it, we need to wait until some moment of 2025, and the game is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Series S, and also PC.
Flying over Pakistan, altitude 30,000 feet. Approaching Soviet airspace.
Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater, the remake of one of the most acclaimed Metal Gear games ever, and the remake is being developed by Konami. And I say if they make a good remake like they did in Silent Hill 2, the game is going to be awesome. I know it wasn't the Konami that made the remake of Silent Hill 2, but it's also a Konami game, so you know what I mean, right? If you never played Metal Gear before, you must know that this is a stealth game, but not just this. This is a very original and unique game, with a crazy plot, some mechanics that the original had that nobody even believed was possible back then. But to see if this is going to be as good as it deserves, we need to wait until some moment of 2025, and you'll be able to play it on Xbox Series X, Series S, PlayStation 5 and PC.
Your codename for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake.
The Sinking City 2 is the sequel of the first game. It's a survival horror inspired by the books of H.P. Lovecraft, and the game is being developed by the studio Pragmata. The game is set in a flooded, semi-open city, with impressive graphics, and as it is a damp city, you can expect different creatures, like a kraken for example, what sounds really good. The game looks really good, and knowing that it's being developed on Unreal Engine 5, it makes us think that the graphics and mechanics could be really good. All that sounds perfect, right? I know, hard to believe, but we'll see all that in some moment. But the point is, there is still no release date to make them out in 2025 or 2026 to Xbox Series X, Series S, PC, and PlayStation 5.
It doesn't matter who you are, what you've done, or where you came from.
ArcheAge is a third-person PvPvE action survival shooter, so you can play it alone or with your friends, and the game is being developed by Embark Studios.
No way to hide. Kings. Barons.
As in the other online survival games, you meet other players, but it's not always that it's going to be a fight. You could even fight together, I don't know, but the standard enemies in the game will be different, some sort of machines, including huge killing machine, what sounds really cool by the way. But the best of all, this game is going to be totally free, so if you like the idea of the game, you can play it for free when it's released. But there is no release date yet, probably 2025 or 2026 for Xbox Series X, Series S, PC and PS5.
And beware of raiders who prey on others.
Instinction is the dinosaur game of the most realistic creatures I've ever seen in my life. The whole game is going to be set in an FPS camera and is being developed by the Hashband Interactive Studio.
I wish I hadn't come here for this.
As you're watching the footage now, the creatures are really impressive, and graphics and also the fluence of the motions and all. And in their official channel, there are some specific videos about the creatures showing the motions and showing how they created everything, so it's really cute to watch. So just check it out if you got interested. The game is absolutely beautiful, the gameplays and trailers and all, but to see the full game we need to wait a little bit, as it's coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Series S and PC in some moment of 2025.
After all this death.
Thanks so much for watching guys, click on the like, subscribe to the channel, watch another video in the channel, and thank you so much, see you in the next one. So long.
Don't act like you don't see it.